everybody, hi, how are you doing? Do come in and join me, and a very warm welcome to today's video, which is going to be all about the newly reformulated Lancôme Foundation Stick. Oh yeah, I was a big fan of the old one. I'll go into more detail on that in a minute. Also, I'm going to be looking at the newly reformulated MAC blush, which looks like this. I've got it in the shade Melba because that was always my favourite in the old one, and I've got that one too. I'm going to compare them. So let's start then with the Lancôme Foundation Stick. Now, I was nervous, I'm not going to lie, I was nervous when I heard that they were reformulating this, because if you will have seen my videos in the past, you will know how I feel about the newly reformulated Estée Lauder Double Wear. Love the old one, not a fan of the new one. Loads of foundations are being reformulated at the moment, as we all know by now, to take out a silicone called cyclopentasiloxane because it is being banned in Europe. So all of the brands are having to phase out that silicone. Likewise, a lot of brands are also reformulating their powder products at the moment to remove the talc. And that is exactly what has happened with these two that I'm going to be talking about today. I do have the old versions of them as well. I was a massive fan. I loved them, and I'm going to be comparing them and doing a wear test just to show you how the new versions compare with the old. Okay, now the Lancôme Stick Foundation has been a favourite of mine for many years. I had the old formula, remember this one with this really useless kabuki brush at the bottom that nobody ever used. I had this, I've been using it, I'm loving it. I've got a very small amount left now, so I was getting a bit nervous. I went to repurchase this and I couldn't find it in my shade, and that's when I thought, oh no, I think they might be either discontinuing it or reformulating it. And it doesn't stop here. I actually had the formula before this. Do you remember when it looked like this, when it came in a smaller component like this? This is years old now. Everything's worn off. I don't use this anymore, obviously. I've just kept it for old time's sake. Do you know what I mean? Because I really loved it. But there we go. It was actually Melissa 55 that got me onto this foundation because she loved it so much, and I was influenced by her. That was back in these days when it looked like this. And then I watched a video of hers comparing this one with this one, and she still said it was lovely, so I went out and bought this one. I've not yet seen her do a video comparing these two, so I mean, I just thought, well, I'm gonna do it because I've been speaking about this foundation on my channel, and I know that some of you have bought it on my recommendation. So I thought, well, it's only right that I come on and show you the new version, show you how it compares, and let you know what I think of it, isn't it? So let me give you a bit of information then about this foundation. It's called the Teint Idole Ultra Wear Shape Stick. They are marketing this now not as a foundation but as a shape stick, so you can contour with it. You can buy a deeper shade to use as a contour. You can get a lighter shade to use it as a highlighter. You know, they're saying that you can contour your whole face. Well, I mean, that's probably the case for any stick foundation, really, isn't it? It just depends what shade you buy it in. Anyway, they're also saying that you get up to 24-hour wear from it. I like that they make long wear claims. I mean, I don't know about 24 hours. I'm not going to wear it for that long, but I like that they do make long wear claims because it means it's likely to hold up through the hot, you know, humid months as well, which is what we want. It contains squalane and vitamin E. They say it instantly blurs and evens the complexion, and you get a medium to full coverage from it. It has a creamy texture and it seamlessly melts into the skin for a second skin effect and lasting hydration. That's what they say. Now this one, they've made it a bit different to the old one in that it has a slanted end. It has a 19-degree slant on it. And as you can see from the old one, that one didn't. That was just flat. Now, I don't know why that is a benefit. necessarily. It might just be a bit of a gimmick. Who knows? I guess if you are using it to contour your face, it might be handy to have that slant. I don't know. But there we go. It's £38 for 9 grams of product as well. So there you go. That's all the information about the new Lancôme Ultra Tinted All Ultra Wear Shape Stick. So before I show you how these foundations apply to my face, I'm going to show you some hand swatches first of all, so that you compare. Now, I have both of these in the shade 250 Bisque. There we go. I have the old one and the new one, both in that 250 shade. So if I take the old one then, and let's have a look at the shade of this. I'll just put it on that side of my hand there. That's what the old one looks like. Now the new one in exactly the same shade, 250 Bisque. Let's take this and apply it there. So at first glance, the old one, it looks a bit darker, doesn't it? And it looks a bit more orangier toned than the new one. Now let me just blend this out a little bit. Yeah. So blended out, I'd still say that the new one, it looks slightly warmer toned than the old one, I would say. What do you think? Now, as for the blushes, I will do some swatches on the other hand. So we've got the old MAC Melba and the new MAC Melba. So let's go in with the old one first. So let's put that on that side of my hand. There we go. I'll do a bit more just to build it up a little bit, just so that you can see. So lovely. That's the old MAC Melba. And then we've got the new one. So different finger on this one. Let's put that there. Ooh, get a bit more. Okay, well, it's not swatching as intently, is it? So it's not as pigmented as the old one. Looking at this. Okay, so how many times is that now? I've done it 3 times. Let's do a fourth. Some people prefer blushes that aren't overly pigmented though, don't they? They prefer to build up the colour rather than going in and it being too much. So some people might see that as a benefit. So that's the old MAC Melba and that is the new one. So as you can see, they do look quite different, don't they, when you swatch them on your hand. So we'll see how they compare on the cheeks in a minute. So there we go. So you can see the differences between the shades on there and on here. So even though they are sold as the same shade, there are some differences. So let me go on now to showing you how the foundation applies to my face. Hi, so I'm going to put the old foundation on the left side of my face and the new one on the right side of my face. Okay, so let's do this. Now, to make it a fair comparison, I wanted to make sure I'm using the most similar brushes that I have. And so for the old foundation side, I'm going to be using my BK Beauty 101. This is from the Angie Hot and Flashy Travel Set. And I'm going to be using on the new foundation side my slanted foundation brush from Beili. Now, I know they're different in size, one's bigger than the other, but in terms of the density and how the bristles feel, they're very, very similar. Okay. So let's take my old beloved Lancôme foundation stick. Look, I've only got that much left. So I was thinking it's going to be time to repurchase this soon. And when I went online a few weeks ago to look to buy it, I couldn't find it. So I had a horrible feeling then that they were messing around with it, that they were going to, you know, discontinue it or reformulate it or something. I had a funny feeling. We get these funny feelings, don't we, every now and then? And we're usually right, aren't we? We can usually trust our instincts, I find. Right, beautiful. That has gone on lovely. It's so silky smooth. Oh, one of my favourites. It was actually Melissa from Melissa 55 that got me into this years ago. She bought it when it was the formulation prior to this one. So before it came with this little brush on the end, she was into it then. It must be about 6 or 7 years ago. And that's when I got into it. And Melissa, I think she has a similar skin type to me. I know she can be quite oily. It's quite combination. So I trusted her opinion and she was absolutely right because I've loved this myself ever since. Okay, so there you go. You can see it's gone on. It's lovely and smooth. It's evened out the redness. It's just doing lots and lots of lovely, good things for my skin, isn't it? Right, so the moment of truth here. We have the new one. Let's see about this. So first of all, we've got this 19-degree angle. Not quite sure why that's supposed to be a good thing. I don't know. Sometimes they're a bit gimmicky, aren't they? Some of these things, but we'll see. We'll see. I guess if you're using this as a sort of contouring product, you know, if you've got a darker shade and using it as a contour, that might help. Don't know, would it? But then the brushes are slanted as well, aren't they, these days? Don't know. Is that a 19-degree? Are these a 19-degree angle as well? I don't know. Does it matter, really? Who knows? Certainly not me. I just go along with what I'm given or, well, what I've bought. Right. Well, yeah. I mean, it's, you know, it's gone on nicely. I definitely need more. So let's do that again, see how buildable it is. I know with the new double wear, one coat is nowhere near enough coverage. With the old double wear it was, but with the new one it's not. I definitely need to build it up more. So that might be a common theme now with these reformulated foundations because they've taken out cyclopentasiloxane and another silicone. You know, I don't know what that actually does. I'm not a scientist, but just in my experience, I'm finding I'm having to layer it up. So do a thin layer, then another thin layer, maybe even another thin layer. Whereas before, one thickish layer did the job for me. Right. I'm still feeling like I need more. I've still got some redness here. I don't think it's covered my nose completely. So I'm going to go in with a third layer now, just there on my cheek and on the side of my nose. Yeah, a bit more up there as well. It's quite warm today. We've had a bit of a heat wave actually, which was lovely over the bank holiday weekend. But I don't know, I'm not great in the heat. I like the light and I like to see a blue sky, you know, I like to see sunny weather, but I'm just not great in the heat and the humidity. Oh dear, I know I've always got something to moan about, haven't I? Right, so after a third layer then, let's have a look, bring my mirror a bit closer and have a look. Yeah, I think that level of coverage is now about the same on both sides. So it's looking nice, it's looking good. So this is the new side and this is the old side. And, you know, as I said at the beginning, this is not a first impression. I have been wearing it. So I kind of already know how I feel about it, but I just wanted to try it out in front of you all as well so that you can see it in action, so to speak. So there we go. That's how we're looking now at first application. And I actually think it looks just as nice, just as smoothing as the other side. I mean, if I'm being really, really picky, I'd say that the new side is a bit more luminous, a bit more radiant. See this little bit of shine here on my cheek? It's not quite as shiny on the other cheek, is it? So I think the old version is more matte at this stage. Now, those of us with oily skin don't have very many options for stick foundations. They're usually geared up more for drier skin people, I think, in my experience. And this one, the old version, was one of a few that suited people with oily skin. So the fact that the new side is looking more radiant already, bit concerning. Obviously I'm going to take you through the day. I'm going to do a check-in in a few hours time and we'll just see what's happening to it then. But just, you know, at first glance, I'd say this one looks more sort of dewy and shiny and radiant, and this one looks more matte. Now, MAC have also reformulated their iconic powder blushes. So anyone remember these? I've got one in Fleur Power and I've got one in Melba. These were always my favorite MAC blushes. They were some of my favorite all-time blushes actually in the past. So again, I was a little bit nervous when I heard that they were reformulating these. They're now called their Skin Finish Colour Struck blushes, and I bought one in the shade Melba. They come in two different finishes. They come in a matte and a more radiant finish. And this is how the Melba looks. As you can see, it's got MAC lettering embossed in it there. So if I just show you side by side, old Melba and new Melba, the colours are pretty similar, aren't they? They're not identical, but they're close enough. Something else that you notice from the packaging as well is that the new one is a smaller size. You only get 4.5 grams now, as opposed to the old ones where you got 6 grams. So that's annoying, isn't it? And this will set you back £28. Okay, so MAC, obviously, it's owned by Estée Lauder now, isn't it? And Estée Lauder have been annoying me in recent years. I can't lie about this. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's the whole double wear debacle, that those of us that love the old one and don't like the new one, you know, there's that. And they could have included a pump now, couldn't they, after all these years of customers saying, please give us a pump, but they haven't, they still haven't. Personally, I still haven't forgiven them for what they did to Becca Cosmetics. Do you remember Becca, the lovely bronzers and highlighters? And they acquired that company. They brought out that ridiculous zero pigment foundation. I don't know if you remember that. I mean, it was just a primer really, but they were selling it as a foundation. And so Becca just became a bit of a laughing stock after that. And pretty soon after that, Becca closed down. So that was a real shame. So yeah, Estee Lauder, I don't know, they're not in my good books at the moment. But then, hey, who am I to criticise Estee Lauder? I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to have a look at these blushes for you. And yeah, show you me applying them. So I now have all of my makeup products on my face except for my blush. So I'm going to go ahead now and put my old original MAC Melba formula on the left side of my face. And I'm going to use my Morphe brush. What is this? My M162. I'm using this because I've got two the same, so to make it a fair test. So let's get some of this lovely MAC Melba original on the left side of my face. Now, these blushes are really pigmented, so a little goes a long way. They really do last as well. They last a long day, and I love it. In fact, this MAC Melba was the blush I wore on my wedding day. So, you know, I'm nostalgic about it. I had Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation on, various other products, but this was the blush that I wore for my wedding, and yeah, it lasted beautifully all through the day. Oh, so right, that's the old formula. Now, the new one, let's get some of this on the right side of my face. Again, same brush, different but same. And as you saw from the hand swatches I did earlier, this one is not as pigmented. It's still a lovely colour though. Beautiful colour. Oh, okay, yeah, that's going on nicely. It's nice, isn't it? It's quite soft. Yeah. Is it buildable? Let's see. Yeah, you can build that up. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Some people prefer a blush that isn't too pigmented, don't they? So that they don't go in with too much to start with. You know, they can build it up to the level of intensity that they want. So yeah, some people might actually prefer this. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it there. So we've got the old blush and the new blush. So I like that. Now, MAC say that this new formula is 12-hour wear and that it's water resistant. Well, I'm not going in any water today, but it is a very hot, humid day. So it'll be interesting just to see how it holds up if it is good in the humidity. And I think as well at this early stage, let me just bring my mirror a bit closer. Yeah, actually, I think I want a bit more. Now I'm having a closer up look. Let me just take this new one, just put a bit more, and just to make it a bit more even with the other side. Yeah, I think already I can tell that the new side is a bit more radiant. It seems a bit more dewy. Um, I can see this side over the day becoming more shiny. I don't know if it's coming across on camera, but I just think that this side doesn't look as not dewy, radiant as this side. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, okay. So in terms of setting my face today, I just used my Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, the same amount all over my face. And I am going to use a setting spray today. As I said, it is a hot day. It might get quite humid later on. So I'm going to use my Lancôme Fix It, Forget It setting spray. This is probably my favourite one to use in hot weather when it's, you know, very humid. So yeah, good spray of that. Okay, so there we are. That's all of my makeup on. Got the old side and we've got the new side. Let's see how it goes. I'll check back in with you in a few hours' time. I'll probably go outside in the sunshine. I'll probably take some photos there so that we can compare, and I will see you again a bit later on. Well, hello everyone. It's now been 4 hours since I put these products on my face, and it is time for the husband test. This is becoming a bit of a regular feature in my videos, isn't it? Anyway, hello husband.
Hello wife.
You know what you have
Hello
to do.
viewers.
I was saying hello to you lot now. Woo! Anyway, you know what you have to do. We've done this before. I've got 2 different products on each side of my face. All I want from you is to know which side you think is the best. Which side looks the best?
I think, incoming finger,
Yeah.
this side is the best.
You think this side is the
Yes.
best? Okay, and why do you think this side is the best?
Because it's more matte. It is not as obviously shiny. And even when now we're in an even light on both sides, I still think that your left side of your face is the most matte, the least shiny. It looks the most natural, therefore.
Right, okay. Well, thank you very much for your opinion.
Thank you.
I will have a word with you all again in a minute. Hi everyone. Well, it's been 7.5 hours now since I put these products on my face this morning, and it's a sad day in my house. The verdict is I don't think the new versions of these products, I don't think they're as good on oily skin, on combo oily skin. I don't think they're as good. I'll just insert some pictures now that I took when I went outside earlier, so we can see we've got the new side and we've got the old side. And I just feel around my sort of inner cheek area, you can see the new side is a lot shinier, isn't it? The oils are coming through a lot more on the new side, whereas the old side still looks quite flattering. It looks more matte. It looks more it looks more like a powder, really. And you can tell as well around my chin, around this sort of area too. The old side just seems smoother. The new side seems to settle in fine lines and wrinkles. I think the new side emphasizes my pores more than the old side did, and it's just not holding up over a few hours time. It is quite a hot day today as well, so these foundations are being put to the test more than they would be if it was a cooler day. But you know, this is why we do these tests when we do them, because sometimes we do have hot days, don't we, and we do have humidity, so we want to know how these things hold up. So in terms of the foundations, I definitely don't think this one is as good as this one on combo oily skin. In terms of the blushes then, so we've got the new one here and we've got the old one here. Again, I don't know. I think the staying power is better on the old side. The pigmentation is definitely better on the old side. You saw from the hand swatches that I did earlier that the pigmentation or the pigment is much stronger in the older formula than the new one. The new one, I definitely had to go back in and build it up and build it up to get the same level of intensity as I had on the old side. Plus, you get less of it as well. The new one comes in a smaller pan size. So you're getting less of it to start with, and you're having to build it up and build it up and keep going back to build it up more. So you're going to go through this a lot quicker, which means that the value for money isn't there. So I don't know, I'm not impressed. I'm not very happy with these new formulations of two of my old classic favourite products. So there you go. It's a shame, isn't it? Um, I mean, I don't know what am I going to do. Just stop using these things? I don't know. I think there's a lot more makeup available to us these days. I might start looking into different brands, different smaller brands. I just think I will, because MAC is owned by Estée Lauder, Lancôme is owned by L'Oreal. Now, Estée Lauder and L'Oreal are two of the most massive beauty companies, aren't they, in the whole world. They own so many more beauty companies as well, that I don't know, I feel like I want to just sort of investigate what else there is outside of those two brands. House Labs is very interesting. I don't have many items from them, but what I do have, I've been impressed with. I've not investigated Makeup by Mario yet, can you believe? I've heard good things about them. Obviously, Rare Beauty I like. There's lots, isn't there? Lisa Eldridge I like. So I think I might just start investigating some other different brands than just the big ones that I was using 20 years ago. So there we go. Do let me know what you think. Did you use some of these products? Did you use the Lancôme Stick Foundation? Did you use the MAC blushes? I'd love to know your thoughts and what you think, especially if you have tried the new formulas as well, and just to see. Plus, if you have a different skin type to mine, if you have a drier skin, you might have a different opinion to me on these products, because obviously they're going to work differently, aren't they, on different skins. So do let me know how you feel. I'm going to leave it there for today, and I will see you all again in my next video. Okay, bye everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.